John here. So yesterday I drilled out these two supports. This one goes on the outside of the wheel well. As you can see, the one on this side, it is there to add additional stiffness to the seat bracket that the rear bench seat pivots on. I removed the one from the other side. As you can see, the wheel well got rotten a little bit, but I was able to salvage these guys and they are in pretty good shape. Funny thing is, this is the super rusty truck of mine, and the one I got from the States that I refer to with my children as the not so rusty truck. These are quite rusty on that. So luckily on my rusty truck I'm able to salvage these. So I'm gonna finish drilling these out and then that'll be done. And then this truck is almost ready to go to somebody else who can use the rest of the parts. Well, we're going to take this section out and then replace it with a better one. Of course, this is going to be cleaned up first. Anyways, I just got the Blair spot weld cutter kit off Amazon. I just tried it and it works really well. So I'm just going to go through using this. There's a spot weld right there. We're going to center punch that hole. Can't quite see, that one's a little high, so we're going to do it again. It's better. And then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger with this guy here. That's it. Now you can see it. You can probably see that little mark right there. Perfect. Watch this baby. I'll show you here's the bit. Spring, this, and the end of the bit is spring loaded. So try and keep it centered. These things cut really well. Check it once in a while. It's not true. Start seeing the rust coming through there, and that's it. Done. Works really well. Just got to clean up these stiffener plates and weld up all the holes. Probably sandblast them. And coat the backside with weld-through primer. Have them ready to go for installation. So this one is basically all welded up. There's some pretty pitted metal here. You can see right down there, there's a little pinhole. There's a bunch of pinholes along here. So I reinforced it with a bunch of weld, and I'm going to reinforce this side, weld up the pinholes, and then that one will be done. So I just welded up the pitted metal there. It's not pretty, but nobody's going to see it. Go on the other side. You can see where it came through. I'll just grind that down a little bit, just like I did on this side. And then this is all going to be in the wheel well covered. So that's where she sits. So here we are. We've got the stiffener plate removed, and I'm just going to cut this section right out, at least all the rusty stuff, and then see if I can fabricate a nice piece to fit in there, weld it in, and get this side wrapped up. So I got this side cut out. You can see the other side while we're looking through the hole here. What I did is basically cut this out like this. And this section is flat, so that's going to be fairly easy to make. This curved section here seems to be rust free, so I just kind of left that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld in, I'm going to make a piece to fit in here first, and then I'm going to deal with this bottom section. I cut out a couple little rusty bits from here and here, and we'll see how this looks. I think it's just, this looks like just a little bit of surface rust, but I could always cut this out too. But anyways, so that's where we're at right now. So here's where things sit now. I just have one final little patch to make. I decided to do two separate patches here as it was easier to kind of navigate the curves. Pretty happy with the large patch. Anyways, clean this up, have some weld through primer here and on the back of these pieces. What ends up happening is moisture gets in between the seam sealer, I think on the inside, and then rust forms between the two panels, between the two flanges here. So I'm going to try and get some fluid film down there and see what I can do with that, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So I got her all welded up here. This lower section didn't quite turn out as pretty as I would like, but the stiffener plate's going to go over top of it. Something I didn't realize was this, I know this part is obviously sticking out further, but I didn't know this part here was supposed to be out further, because when I put the stiffener plate on top, there was a bit of a gap underneath, so I had to add some other plates as spacers to the stiffener plate so it sits right against this piece, if that makes sense. Anyways, just gonna clean this up, give it a coat of weld through primer. I'd like to put some, I was considering putting epoxy primer on, but I'm not sure how that's going to behave with the welding, so I'm probably just going to coat it with the zinc weld through primer. So now I'm going to tackle this side. I decided, well, I'll just show you this side quickly here, how it looks now that I've basically finished it. Obviously I need to put the seat pivot on there still. I've got some weld through primer on this side here. It doesn't look too terrible. And just walk you around to the other side here. I basically drilled out all the spot welds, but at this point I'm just going to take my angle grinder and just cut the whole thing right out. And then hopefully get a new patch in there within the next hour or two, and at least get this sealed up, and then the stiffener plate and the seat pivot bracket I'll deal with after. So I got this side all welded in. Next I'm going to paint the bottom section with some epoxy primer. I painted the inside of this seat pivot bracket with epoxy primer. I did a bit of research online. Gonna try basically, instead of weld through primer, I'm trying the epoxy primer underneath, and then where the plug welds will be, I covered those with little red stickers. Then there'll be less, then I'll have some bare metal and I won't have to scrape it off. Anyways, we'll see how that works out, and then I will tackle this side here and do the same thing. Got this one all done here, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. So I've got both stiffener plates plug welded in, got a few coats of epoxy primer on here. The inside, I've got the seat brackets welded in place. I just used self-etching primer on the inside here. So overall, pretty happy with this repair, being that it was my first time, and
once this is dry, I'm going to seam seal all the way around so no moisture can get in. Not sure what top coat I'm going to do yet, but yeah, I'm not really sure there. And then at some point I'll fish my wand up in here and get some fluid film in there as well. So I'll just show you the other side. Similar deal on this side. There's a better view from this side here, and there she is. And I did test fit the seat and it fits perfectly.